Welcome to my channel. I'm glad you're here because today I'm going to recommend a book I feel everyone should read, and it's called "Weneverdie" by Matt Fraser. Now, if you've ever lost a loved one and you're wondering 1,001 things, if they're okay or not on the other side, anything about the afterlife and how our loved ones are, then this book is definitely for you. It answers every possible question you could have on the afterlife and so much more. And if you don't know who Matt Fraser is already, he is one of the most well-known psychic mediums, and I believe he's a third-generation psychic. He had this gift passed down from his grandmother, from his mother, and now he shares this gift as well to be able to communicate to the other side. Now, I love this book so much. I got my version on Kindle. You can buy it on Amazon. You can get the hard copy or wherever you choose. I'm not sponsored to make this video, but I am sharing this because I feel you will benefit from reading this book for sure. I recommended it to my dad, who went and got it as well. And it's just one of those books where each time you read, you're going to pick up something new to learn from and have an epiphany and something you probably didn't know already. I highly recommend this book, and let me read something from this book. I never tire from reading this book. Like, I read it already, but I picked it up yesterday again on my Kindle, and I loved it. It just makes you feel good, and it's very reassuring to know that our loved ones never leave us. In fact, Matt Fraser says this, I think, every time throughout his books. And also, by the way, he does have a YouTube channel, and you can learn so much from his videos there. I had to pause the video because there's so much of honking outside. I'm sorry, bear with me. Okay, so his YouTube videos are very informative. I believe it's a treasure house of knowledge. He speaks on the afterlife, on death and dying, and even about the Ouija board, dark spirits, negative spirits, and how to protect yourself. It's amazing. You should definitely check out his videos online. Okay, so I'm going to read something that I found very interesting from his book. Every page is nice, but I really love this one in particular. So there's a section in this book, "Does my loved one in heaven miss me?" So a lot of people ask Matt Fraser if their loved ones think of them on the other side and do they miss them. And many a times, actually all the time, he says no, and this does upset people. But the reason why he says they don't is because our loved ones never leave us. Now, let me just read something from this book, okay? The short answer is no, but every time I say this, people get really upset. They think because the person doesn't miss them, they didn't love them when they were alive. That's not true. They don't miss you because they are with you. In fact, your loved one has a front row seat in your life. And as crazy as it sounds, they are actually closer to you in death than they were in this world. Think about everything you do. Your morning drive to work, they are with you. When you're working at your desk, they're there. They're with you when you're having lunch. Even when you're going, to use the washroom, we don't like to talk about it, but they're always around. When a loved one passes, to the people they leave behind, it feels like the ultimate distance. But for the dead, it's actually the opposite. They feel close and connected, and not just to one person, they're connected to everyone they cared about. They're with you through the good times, through the bad times, and all the times in between. They become your guardian angels. I lost my mom 3 years ago to COVID. It was a very sad and tragic passing because I couldn't be beside her when she passed. I was her caregiver, and she was my best friend. She was my world, and this book came to me at the right time. I was looking forward to have some questions addressed. I think that goes without saying for a lot of people. Okay, there's this shaking. For a lot of people who lost their loved ones to COVID, and Matt Fraser has addressed each and every doubt beautifully. He has explained everything so nicely. And one thing he always says is how the loved ones convey one message to him to tell to their family on this side, that they're always beside them. They really are. I personally wholeheartedly believe that our loved ones become our guardian angels when they cross over. I talk to my mom still, not in front of others, but I do talk to her in privacy, and I feel like she's right there beside me. I really do believe she is. Every time something good happens in my life, I automatically owe that credit to my mom. She's my guardian angel. And once you come out of that mourning phase and you start understanding things from a spiritual perspective by reading such books, it is very comforting and reassuring to know that they're always beside us. So I pray to my mom, I really do. When my heart feels overwhelmed dealing with this world, I reach out to her and I feel better automatically. So you could also try that in case you lost a loved one. Believe me, they're there, they're listening. And so as Matt Fraser, let me get back to this book. I'm reading from my Kindle. I love Kindle. It's the best gift my husband ever gifted to me. I have my Kindle on the bedside, but thank God for my trusty phone. You can always have access to Kindle there. I think you can tell I really love Kindle. Okay, so I wanted to share this part from this book, especially choosing life over grief. Matt Fraser, he says that the last thing our loved ones want is to see us crying for them, because they're not gone, and they don't want your grief to keep you from being happy and enjoying life. That's the one thing the dead always say to me as a medium. They don't want you to take out time mourning them. Time and time again, they ask me to relay the same message. I'm always by your side. And you know, what's wonderful, I love reading this in his book, and I've also read this in James Van Prague's books, Talking to Heaven, where souls and spirits of pets also come through with your family members. So the other reason Matt Fraser says why our loved ones don't miss us is because apparently on the other side, they're busy having a grander family reunion than we experience or understand over here. They're actually more closely connected to us than they were when they were alive on this earthly plane. And I love that our pet babies, their souls also have a reunion with their loved ones. I've had so many pet babies. My whole life revolves around animals, especially stray animals. All our pets are rescues, and all the pets who have passed away. I was just talking to my dad about this, that after reading Matt Fraser's book again, I wholeheartedly believe that my mom has reunited with those pet babies, and I'm sure they're keeping her company on the other side, and I personally can't wait to see them again when it's my time to transition. And Matt Fraser also says that there's, it goes without saying, there's so much of stress and negativity surrounding death, but to ease that, you need to let go of the whole process of dying, the concept of death. It doesn't have to be negative. Just take away that whole word, because there really is no death, he says. It's merely a transition. It's like slipping away from this room into the next. And guess what? Souls and spirits, he says, how they're more free there to pursue their dreams that they could not do when they were alive on this earthly plane, because the earth has so many limiting beliefs. We are born with everything ready inside of us. Like, we have all that we need, but society, unfortunately, at times, most of the time, brainwashes us into thinking that what we need it's outside of us. So, as I was saying, sometimes I have to pause this video because there's so much of traffic noise outside, and I don't want you guys to listen to all that disturbance, so just bear with me. Do you guys like my daisy earrings? It's a sweet gift from my partner. It takes very little to make me happy. Okay, so we are born with everything we need already, okay? Before we come into this lifetime, our soul creates the blueprint of our entire life ahead. So we choose our experiences. We choose to be born in a certain family, and there are certain people who are there in our lives because we have a soul agreement before coming into this lifetime with them. And I have read this in Dolores Cannon's book as well, James Van Prague, and all these great authors, they always share this. And not only authors, they're extraordinary individuals who are just ordinary people like you and I, but they've had extraordinary experiences, like near-death experiences. In those videos as well on YouTube, you can always listen to these similarities that we already pre-planned this life, and we have free will to choose and change it if something is not going our way. Okay, so coming back to pets, I wanted to read something so reassuring, a little section. I'm going to read something from this section of the book. It's called Will I See My Pet in Heaven? And Matt Fraser says, yes, pets make it to heaven. They join up with friends and family when they do. There's a reason why your pets become like family, because your soul recognizes the soul inside of them. Even though they belong to a different species, an animal's soul is not much different from yours. They feel pain, fear, loneliness, but most important of all, they are able to experience and feel love. And apparently, angels and souls come into our lives in the form of a pet, so they can provide help and support. That's why they say animals are angels, especially dogs or cats or any animal. They're actually angels, because I do believe they automatically raise the vibration of your house, the place where you're in, and they make life so much better. I can't think of a day where I have gone in our house, like our family, without a pet, and all our pets have been rescues except for one. It was a hamster, and also a guinea pig. I'll talk about them in a bit. So he says that he has seen all kinds of pets that were put here to be earthly guides. So animals they really are guardian angels, and they're also our earthly guides. They're like spirit guides. He says, I've seen all kinds of pets that were put here to be earthly guides: rabbits, guinea pigs, horses, one time even a snake. What's even more amazing is that in heaven, pets always appear with family members and friends. It's not just the ones that passed recently. Your childhood pet is still around, and that makes me so happy, because I remember the first pet we ever got. This is like when we were in Brussels, Belgium, and my sister brought home a hamster. It was a Serbian hamster. He was really cute. He was light brown and fluffy. And it makes me so assured to know this. Every time I read about this or hear a psychic medium, a gifted psychic medium, talk about this, it just fills my heart up with love, and it takes a stone off my chest, because when you feel that your heart is heavy and when you're missing your loved one, it could be a pet or a parent, this is so reassuring. It could be a friend or anybody. They're actually right beside you. And I love that. It's gotten really dark here because it's raining outside. So basically, our pets stay with us till eternity. And I was reading this interview online by Alison Kugel. I don't know how to pronounce her name, like her last name, Kugel. And she asked Matt Fraser, I wanted to share this with you guys. What is the most profound piece of wisdom you have received from Spirit? To which he replied, here in this world, we have limiting beliefs. We have anxieties, phobias, and fears. We have all these things. So many times we say to ourselves, I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm too old to do this. I'm not good enough. So we place these fears and doubts in our minds that stop us from living our best life. And it stops us from achieving milestones, our dreams. So what he has learned on the other side is spirits do magnificent things. They realize their God-given gifts that maybe they didn't see in this world. And they also realize how their life could have been different if they didn't focus on the negative. If they didn't focus on so much stressing and worry, because in heaven, all these emotions, they don't exist. And our natural state is that of pure joy. So I feel these are profound things to ponder over, and know that death is not the end. I believe that when we pass away, we're actually more busy on the other plane, and we might even be helping others to achieve their dreams, whatever they're passionate about. Some souls do that. I have read about that. All souls have a purpose, a higher purpose when they pass on as well. So they're pretty busy. So I hope you like this video on this book, and you can share it with someone who might need to read this book, because it's definitely a keeper, and I'm so glad we live in a world where we can read such books. So I wish you so much of love and happiness. Thank you for spending your time with me on this video, and I'll see you guys really soon.